Welcome to the 200th episode. And I'm your host, Dr. Dave, DJ Dr. Dave, I decided to call myself today.
All right,
because I get to have the privilege and the honor. You guys have been doing this for 200 episodes, and I've been a recent addition here and there sprinkled in. But I'm going to interview you guys so that the guests in the audience out there can have a different perspective of when they listen to this episode. They're going to hear about the struggles, the triumphs, the fun, the crappy, everything in between, and we're gonna do some fun stuff today. So welcome to the 200th episode, everyone.
Ready.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, what an intro, right?
I didn't think I would make it this long.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and speaking of that, so that's my first point of business.
Oh,
is that,
see, we're already getting into it.
Yeah, we're going to dive right into this because this is really, really important. Like, this is a huge milestone that we have to celebrate, and this is a big cheers because most people don't realize how hard it actually is to do producing content and podcasts. So here's some fun stats for everyone. Around the world, there are 4.5 million podcasts in existence. 4.5 million.
Is it really that high?
Well, 40%, 47%, so 50% of that never get past 3 episodes.
Wow. That's
only 8% of shows get past 50 episodes.
How many? 8%?
8%.
What's 8% of 4 million?
I'll get there.
Hold on. Wow.
4% make it to 100 episodes.
Wow.
And only 2% make it to 200 episodes. And this
2%.
is worldwide.
2%.
So, out of all of the podcasts that are out there, there's only about 100,000 podcasts that ever get to publishing 200 episodes. So we are in the elite of the elite.
That's crazy
podcasts in the world.
Well, it's crazy, and it's not at all crazy, actually. Never mind.
That's why we're going to get into this, is because you guys are doing this for fun. We're all doing this for fun. Whereas I think some people think that they're going to like change their business, or it's going to add on. You know what I mean? Like, it's they're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so that's what I want to get across to the audience today, is kind of the origin stories, why you guys are doing this, what the exciting things have been, what have been the struggles. But then we're also going to play some really fun games because you guys have been on quite the damn journey here.
Yeah.
And we're going to play some.
Tell me it was interactive.
Yep, we're going to play a game called Miracle, Myth, or Maybe about halfway through the episode. Right. So everyone can look forward to a little bit of that. I'm
just going to have to say yes. Like, I don't know what the questions are, but yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's funny.
So to start off with, I'm going to preface this as I use an extensive AI on the back end. So for those that don't know, I joined the team not too long ago. And about halfway through, my very first episode with you guys was when you guys interviewed me in episode 70. And then we hit it off.
Yeah, it was a minute.
I was all the way back in 70.
Yeah.
Single double digits.
Yep. And we hit it off, and I became part of the team, shortly after that, I guess I would say. And I've been in the background helping build out some certain things. And through this, I've been training AIs on all of our content and all of our stuff. And so in preparation for this episode, I actually had one of my AI agents review all of the transcripts of all 200 episodes and really kind of dive into this and look through things. The number one thing that it says is, these guys like to drink. Yes. You should name an Irreverent Health cocktail. Yes.
That's fucking hilarious.
That its big suggestion to us was that we need to have a signature cocktail for Irreverent Health. And
I'm not opposed to that idea. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. So I grabbed all of my stuff. I have a whiskey old fashioned here. So what are you guys
that's
drinking
my go-to.
Today?
I'm drinking a sparkling water out of an extremely oversized snifter, which I believe made it into episode whichever one was the first Happy Healthy Guys.
Right.
Only because of I'll blame Daniel Tolson's alignment protocols.
That's
Since
right.
I've been listening to that twice a day, no desire for cannabis or alcohol. I have had alcohol in a few instances, and take it or leave it kind of thing. It's not, what's that? It was Waylon Jennings. Take back the weed, take back the whiskey, baby. I can get off on you, I believe, is the name of the song.
Yeah.
So,
Matt, how about you?
I've got a Malbec actually.
There you go.
Yeah,
look at that,
so-
classy for the 200th episode.
And I survived another meeting that should have been an email.
Okay. Yep.
So
Got it. So if you guys were to create a signature cocktail that would represent Irreverent Health, what would that be?
I think we'd part ways on this. It would have to
We
be
totally-
half gin. It would have to be half gin, half whiskey, and that would taste terrible. So
Yeah, well, I was going to say absinthe because like it's going to get fucking weird.
yeah.
There you go.
Somebody's going to lose an ear.
Yeah. I think we would sharply disagree on the cocktail contents. For sure.
We definitely would. And I think that's in our order history when we go to our third Thursdays. That seems to be.
I'm wondering, what would that taste like? Whiskey and gin. It's probably pretty.
I don't
gross.
think that's a good idea.
Well, there's some interesting cocktails that I used to make in college that would be vodka and rum. If you like vodka, rum, and root beer, you can make some like root beer floats.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's some really interesting
I might have to
cocktails that way.
throw an AI at this one. Actually, I mean, whiskey, gin, go.
I bet you there's an old school because gin was like the original bathtub thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
I bet you there's some raw eggs involved and cream.
Oh, there probably is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
No
sure
doubt.
there's something out there of that nature.
Then you can get niche. Those old Tom gins actually do taste a little bit like a whiskey already. So like doing like an old Tom and whiskey, it's technically still gin and whiskey. That would probably be really interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the juniper and that smoky taste just kind of collide a little bit. You know,
that's
if you're
where
going
old
for
Tom kind of comes in.
yeah,
Like,
if you're
it's
not
the-
doing
yeah,
a juniper gin, you might be okay there.
you might be
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. That is the official Irreverent Health cocktail is a mixture of absinthe, gin, and whiskey.
Yeah, we'll just have to figure out. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what that cocktail sounds like? It was made by AI.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Right.
It's
Oh,
got
man.
bullet points and emojis in the recipe.
And an M dash between
And an
all
M
of them.
dash. Yeah. I think we got to throw in a little hoppe too. If
Yeah,
we're gonna be
uh-huh.
snorting tobacco at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into your guys' origin stories because it's at 200 episode. There's a lot of new listeners. There will be a lot of future new listeners, and they may not have heard the origin story of how Irreverent Health actually came to be. So let's dive into that.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done that a couple of times on other podcasts now, but it's
we've
cool
done
to
this on,
kind of.
yeah, on other shows a
Well,
lot.
let's do
yeah.
the shortened version of it.
Let's-
Yeah, don't talk long.
No, Matt. Do you want to? I mean,
Go
it
ahead,
doesn't.
give it a shot.
Yeah. So I met a guy named Joe McClinsky in my clinic, and you know, he gave me a 45-minute business lesson the first time he came in. Second time he came in, he said, "Oh shit, you did everything I said." And you know, he kept coming in and he kept, you know, hanging out more, and then he's like, "Look, I got this business consulting company and I've got this thing called Shift Network. Do you want to join it?" And I'm like, "Look, I got no money. I can't do that." He goes, No. My guest, come on in." And first meeting, I'm sitting in the back of the room right next to Matt. Matt and I are looking at each other going, how many of these you been to? Matt might have been to one or two more than I had. And he's like, I'm new. And I go, I don't belong in this room. Matt goes, I don't either. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Got it.
But
okay.
you know what's funny? With hindsight, we actually never belonged in a room more than that room ever.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just that first minute was a lot to kind of take in. But that minute was when Irreverent Health was born too. Right?
Yeah.
Like one of the women, Eliza, was sitting there talking to Tom and I. She's like, "Man, I wish I could record what you were talking about and like hit pause so I can go look stuff up because like I love all the shit you guys get into, but like you guys just rattle it off so fast. And I'm like, I don't know, to me, 10,000 hours of research on, bio, whatever, felt like a normal thing to do. And that room was sort of evidence that was not so typical. And that was the first seed planted that
I think for those people in that room, it wasn't healthcare for them. It was something else, right? They still did that kind of research. They still did those kind of deep dives, but that was like really the niche. I think Matt and I kind of agreed on, and we're like, this is cool shit. Let's go. How deep can we go down here?
Yeah.
And a lot of people in that group were like, not just that group, but a lot of people in general get deep down like a singular rabbit hole, and they go real deep. Like, I'm an ayahuasca guy now, and I'm going to go off to Peru or whatever, Costa Rica, whatever, right? And they get really into this, or they're into yoga, or they're into whatever, right? Tom and I think one of the things that we get along really well with is that we have an infinite capacity for digging new rabbit holes. We don't, I don't want to talk for Tom, but I think
no. I agree with him.
I think I'm safe to say that, I don't care. I'll go anywhere. It doesn't matter. The conversation, the discovery is the exciting part. And a lot of people just don't, even in those circles, don't really think like that.
Yeah. And I think that comes down to some of Matt's metacognition hypothesis, right? You start looking at a lot of different things and you start seeing those similarities in all of those things. And you go, wow, the number of times I think on an episode, somebody said something and it's far out in left field, whether it's biohacking or fucking AI and I go, oh, that sounds like acupuncture. Yeah, and it's when you pull back and you start looking at this big level, and I think it's kind of weird where you start going, yeah, it's all health. Yeah, it's all health. Why? Because it involves a human. And
I think that's the biggest evolution of our show, actually, where I never would have envisioned where the show would have taken me. That curiosity led to a striking lack of definition around what irreverent or health meant.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because
so
the name Irreverent Health, I'm assuming now means something different to you. What has the journey been?
Guys, I was gonna pitch a rebrand for us, but I was not gonna do it on the air where we just call ourselves Irreverent Life. Yeah, because it almost seems more encompassing, because if it involves a human and that does something that gives us joy or is a passion, isn't that causing some health in a roundabout way?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it was really fun when Tom and I started laying out. It's so naive, and I wish it happened no other way than the way it happened. But it's funny because Tom and I were like, well, let's make an episode list, right? Of what we want to do. And there was a bunch of stuff on there, but realistically in practice, we were out of shit to say by episode 10. And so when I hear stats about this many people don't make it past 10 episodes, I'm like, yeah, that's when it gets something more than just rattling shit off, right?
Yep.
Episode 11 was infinitely harder than episode 8.
Yeah.
Right. So, and so especially at 200, it's redefined what motivates us to have somebody on there. There's almost this unspoken language now. We just throw pitches and ideas back and forth at each other for guests, and it's almost instantly I don't need to talk about it, just thoughts. I just put up 10 people the other day, and Tom's like, I don't want to be a dick, but I don't like any of them. And I'm like,
they're all selling something.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, that's cool. We don't have to I'm not
well, we're also booked. I mean, we're recording this at the end of October. We're booked into January, mid-January already.
Right.
So it's not we're hurting to talk to people.
And I never would have thought that basically having no business plan of any kind was actually the best business plan that could have ever been written.
Yeah.
in this case.
And I also think that's what I started off with is you guys have a deep innovation, a deep curiosity, a deep explorative, adventurous types of personalities where this is endless for you guys. There's no end in sight for any apparent reason.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like the coolest thing. And like now we're talking, I mean, God, we've had mystics, we've had shaman, we've had people who died and came back. I mean, like these are not like, look, let's, in a yardstick of civilized world, these aren't even in the realm of normal, like some of these conversations, right? Like, but like we joke, like, they're like, well, what does near death have to do with health? I'm like, well, if you're dead, your health is,
you're not healthy.
Yeah.
Well, you're either infinitely healthy or you're not healthy at all, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there's no, like, you're either completely cured
yeah,
or 100% sick.
Yeah. Right. So, but then it got to Tom's point. He touched on it, but this is becoming a theme, man. We're like, you know what? Like, if it makes people better people, if it makes people better people, it makes them healthier people by and large. Like, you know, I don't anybody get up our ass about, you know, well, you said it. No, like curved out, smoothed over. Most times, if you're doing better, everything's better. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and so like, how's that not health? I mean, you know, if you want to be a shaman and you don't believe in shamanism or the 32nd dimension, dude, what really, who cares? It's a really cool thought exercise that you can do for an hour. Like I don't have to.
And no one's getting hurt. You know,
you're not getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know, like, and if somebody actually, you know, it's funny. I didn't even tell you this. Oh, this is a great time ever to tell you this story. I get a text message yesterday from a guy who no longer lives in my neighborhood. He is on what we call the chain, right? It's a text chain that's been going on for probably 15 years at this point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's literally called the chain in our phones, right? And so this guy moves out of town. He moves hours away. He's not close anymore. And we don't talk a ton anymore. Texts me out of the blue. He goes, dude, I fucking love your podcast. I was like, okay, like, huh? I haven't talked to you in a minute. And so I text him back. I'm like, oh my God, that's like the greatest compliment ever. Thank you so much. How the hell, like what prompted that? I didn't even know you were listening to our show. He goes, I didn't even know you had a show. He has no
got marketing
media
down.
Yeah, we're crushing.
Yeah, right.
Well, this guy has no technology in his life of any kind, right? So like he's anti all tech, like he's very, very, very no tech, right? So he has no social media, no nothing. So like he wouldn't necessarily know.
That sounds
he doesn't
glorious.
live here, so he doesn't know.
Sounds glorious.
Yeah. So anyway, a couple ladies from our neighborhood went down because they're friends with his wife. They were in the neighborhood for like 20 years or something, right? Like so they go down. And one of the ladies has her friend at Hopkins in the psilocybin lab where she's trying to get her on this show. And she goes, oh, Hampton's got this podcast talking about mushrooms. And I'm trying to get my friend on there. And so he drops them off at an event. And on the way home, he puts on our podcast. And it was Dave the Mystic show. And
Dave the Mystic.
And I was like, you picked like the most bananas one to start with, but I love it. Like, I mean, you know, you just got right into it.
You went right into the deep end, man. That was a high board.
Here's where it really hit a note with me, though. Aside from all the coolness that like he discovered a thing, that thing was us and he liked it, right? He goes, I have had these feelings for years and you can't talk about it with anybody because it's fucking weird. And then he starts getting into this whole personal story, which he's definitely going to hear this. So I don't want to like out him
you
or
don't want
the
to
story
out him.
or the story. But basically there's all this metaphysical stuff that he's talking about that has happened to him or indirectly or directly. And some of it was deeply personal and deeply moving. And he had this like sort of like, oh, there's this new safe space I didn't know existed where I can now have this conversation. And he and I have spent sunrise level conversations on deep shit for years. So like, this isn't like he and I have a very philosophical relationship, if that makes sense. Like we're, you know, and I love it, but I love that there was somebody, at least one person that I could definitively point to. And if there's one, there's gotta be more.
Yeah.
People like, dude, I had this great connection with you because of something I've never said or have said very infrequently to anybody.
I gotta, you know, it's so funny to me that like, look, growing up, I got along with people. I wasn't super weird, but I felt like I was keeping stuff inside, you know, and it's like, oh, you can't say that. Somebody's going to think you're fucking nutty. And it almost feels rewarded here.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we're going to have somebody
almost feels rewarded. Like,
well, no, I mean, somebody's going to come
on.
on. They're going to say something batshit crazy. And you're like, oh, cool. I can let loose. Yeah. You know, like, oh, cool. This is fine. This is the place to talk about this. And to Matt's point, if one person's talking about it, there's a community, right? You know, like I was into subcultures. Like I wasn't actively in a subculture. I didn't dress an emo or some shit like that. But like, you know, a lot of the interests I had were a little bit different. And now it feels like I'm just reconnecting with those groups in a very different way. You know, I'm having these higher thinking, you know, these higher level type conversations about, you know, what people do and how they became who they were. Right. I mean, God damn it. I feel bad because we had Catherine Eipel on and like we just literally laughed the whole time. We talked a little bit about what she does, but she was such a fucking amazing guest and she just rolled with us. So it was like, you know, we're just going to have fun for an hour and there wasn't an agenda. And like, I don't think I get to do that, right? I don't do that in scrubs. I don't do that at my clinic. You know,
we can't do that with patients. It's very difficult to open up random conversations.
She may have given us our unofficial new tagline, Irreverent Health, partially hinged.
You know, she dropped so many great one-liners there that like we need a t-shirt section in the store for her.
Just to support her t-shirt ideas.
She said the favorite thing in 200 episodes.
Tom lost his mind.
I literally went upstairs. I'm like, honey, the guest just said the best thing in the world. She said, my tattoo artist has really gotten into Mongolian throat singing. And like, I just lost it. And I said, you single-handedly have said the most yoga instructor sentence ever. And
in the history of everything.
I could not, like, you've encapsulated.
Yeah.
And I was in tears. It was just so fun. And she went with it. She didn't get upset. She didn't think I was making fun of her. It was fucking perfect.
That was like probably 15 minutes of the show. So I'm laughing about it.
Oh my God.
She just kept saying stuff. And I'm like, I totally get exactly everything you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hysterical.
Oh, I love it. But you know what's funny about that, Dave? And this was like another thing that I never would have expected from this experience. We got off of the air with her and we said, hey, we're thinking about doing a in-person thing. Before we even finished, she's like, yes, like we're in. Like, I mean, it wasn't even like, and I'm like, that's so cool to have that sort of rapport with somebody that we had met that same hour.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just fucking awesome. And like, and now Tom and I are like, great. How do we be amazing stewards of that honor, if you will, that somebody's like, listen, I know we've just met, but if you need literally anything, just let me know. We have someone who said she's going to come down and all over the place.
She's a sweetheart too.
Yeah. Like they're coming from like that. I mean, people are like, oh, I'll come down from New York. Oh, I'll come in from California. I'll like, like, oh my God, seriously.
And like, look, and it takes a lot to get me off my ass. Matt and I have gone to New York twice for guests for this show. And I could come up with every objection. Oh, fuck, I don't want to drive. I fucking hate like traveling, whatever it is. But we were like, yeah, we're going.
We fixed that one, Dave, by the way. We just got to stick his ass on a train. Turns out in an Uber to the train station, train to New York, and an Uber home. Turns out all the objections to not doing it are completely gone.
I'm like B.A. Baracus on the A-team. I got to get knocked out before I get on the plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's this weird, I want to say like kindred spirit thing that happens within a few minutes. And I know when Matt's into the guest immediately. He knows when I'm into the guest immediately. And when all three of us get that, at the end of the show, like Matt said, people are like, how do we keep this going? How do we get on a fucking WhatsApp group with a dude in fucking Thailand? You know, like how do we end up going like, yeah, whatever you need, just call and we'll do it for you. I mean, it happens so often. And I think it's because we don't have these open, unmasked conversations so often.
Yeah.
Well, adults don't. Like, I feel
No,
like
you don't,
adults
because
don't have this
this is-
conversation anymore.
This
Kids
is
do.
how society works.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, kids definitely do. You do feel a little bit like a kid when you're like, oh, this is going to come out and it's going to sound super fucking weird, but
Yeah.
I'm saying it.
Yeah, I mean, that part was interesting because like so much of my podcast experience prior to this was listening to podcasts, and it felt very one directional, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And like, yeah, social media, there's like certain groups that are more active or whatever, but it feels to me like the world of podcasting and health is very one directional, right? It goes from that person who elevates to a deity who inevitably crashes out and now they're just a douchebag. You know,
Says
like,
a bunch of douchey shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And not everybody, but it seems to be the fate that is most often the reality. But like, it feels like they're having a conversation at people, myself included. And I feel like this one feels a lot more bi-directional in the sense that like these people that we're talking to and the way we're talking to them is how they would talk to their friends at a bar.
Right.
Right. Like, and that is a comfortable place for a lot of people to have a conversation. And so even my buddy who I was telling you about, who just found our show, he goes, dude, I felt like I was in the conversation with you guys. And I'm like, that's exactly the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and that kind of got encapsulated not too long ago for me. I think that was MZ's episode. Right. Where he said, hey, this was like, Gen X therapy is what he called ours when we went up to record. But he said it was like a barstool conversation. And at first I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. And it's like, no, I've never been in a bar where I've had these conversations like this. But at the same time, if I had a group of people that vibed like this, I totally would. And I think that's the magic. I think that's what kept me in this, because there's been times I think Matt and I could have been like, all right, like, are we shitting or getting off the pod here?
Yeah.
Right.
I very much equate this to the old school of what I would imagine what this lost art of what like the coffee shop, smoke shop used to be way back in the days when Benjamin Franklin was meeting up to play chess with people. These were the conversations that they were having.
Well, and MZ is a great example, actually, because he's on a
3,
never-ending he's over 3,000 shows himself, and he's got like he's on other people's shows. He's doing this, he's doing that, and he's like, no, this is great because no one ever has an interview like this. Like no one ever talks to me like this, and I'm like, cool, that's great.
Yep.
It's kind of lame, and I hate saying this because I love doing other people's podcasts. But when they send you the questions ahead of time.
Oh, right.
And you're like, oh, fuck, you're going to ask me how I got into this. You're going to ask me, about this. You're going to ask. And it's like, dude, let's just go.
Yeah. Can we just talk?
Let's just go, man.
Yep.
Ask That's what you really want to ask.
As I was preparing for this interview, AI spits out like all these questions. I have all these questions, and it's like 15 pages long of stuff. I copy and pasted like 4 sentences. I just wanted to get those initial stats right. And then I knew the conversation would turn like this. For me, like in my preparation for this episode was simply to make that we have the overarching arc of the storyline of like we're halfway through, right? Like, and we got into kind of the meat and potatoes of the intro. Now I want to switch a little bit gears. I still have a few more questions of
Sure.
Very specifically, what for the two of you, what has been the biggest health change that you guys have made that you've actually stuck with simply because you learned about on doing the podcast?
I've got a couple actually.
Tom,
what do you got?
So I'm gonna say, like, I was already into the Muse, when we started. I've just been consistent with that. Neurovisor, Sensate, they both kind of rocked my world, and I really like the alignment protocol with Daniel Tolson. I wish I could articulate it enough. And what's hammering home here, I guess, with all of this is frequency. Yeah. This is just wavelengths and vibration and energy, and it's like,
is that a discovery because of all these podcasts that you explored something new?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's a reoccurring theme, and it sounds so like it was right in front of your fucking face the whole time, dude. You've been an acupuncturist for 25 years.
This is the t-shirt idea that's sitting on my desk on a post-it note. I take my frequencies pretty seriously. Like, that's literally a shirt that I'm making as we're talking.
And how many times do you get to hear that and hear it from somebody else in a different voice? And I'm sure it was Betty, wasn't one of our NDE near-death experience people. It was talking about frequencies and crossing over and stuff like that. And it was like, holy shit, that's what we are, you know? And it's like, well, you knew that. You've been studying a 3,000-year-old system of medicine that literally says that in every fucking paragraph.
Right.
Yeah. yeah, you know, and it's like, oh, good, it's sticking now. It only took a quarter century.
Well, it's only sticking with a few people. It's not necessarily.
Well, no. I mean, with me personally, and now it's like, of course the audio makes sense. Of course the flashing lights make sense. Why? It's a frequency. Okay, cool. How does ESP work? Frequency.
Right.
Yeah. You know, like if we're accepting that as true, I mean, that's what they all talk about. Like back in the day,
Stephen Davis with Nikki, frequency.
Yeah, frequency. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, and I mean, like literally, you ask us what our favorite parts of the show are, and like I'm just grabbing devices and talking about like which people made me laugh the most.
Yeah,
which technically is a frequency too.
Is technically also a frequency. Yeah.
Matt, what else you got?
No, I honestly, I think we have a huge crossover with Neurovisor. Honestly, I think that experience is really hard to put into words, and you just, you know, kind of take my word for it. Like, if you jump in on that thing, it's fucking mind blowing. Like, it's just, I mean, there's no yardstick that doesn't just go through the roof when you measure the fucking Neurovisor, anything, right? Like anything you want to measure, it all's fucking off the charts, man.
And we still don't have an affiliate code up for that one.
Yeah.
We'll get there, by the way.
But I would say that, yes, I'd agree with Tom. There's a lot of device centric things in that kind of conversation when you ask about what health benefits change. But I think that what they all escalate to is, I'm no longer sort of as invested or afraid of getting into a technology to see if it might bring benefit. Like Nikki Watch is a great example, right?
You're going into things unbiased.
Right. Like Nikki Watch was a great example. Okay. I wasn't sold on the idea. You're right. I'm looking up the science. I'm doing a lot of deep dives. Stephen was on the show. He was like really, he was very great at explaining it in the dumbest possible way, you know, like anybody could understand what he was saying. And I just was like, okay. And then I fact checked a bunch of stuff. And honestly, I wear that watch a lot. And I like it. It's helpful. Now, do I need to use it every day? Do I need to be like some crazy disciple for any one thing? No, absolutely not. But like, I'll float fluidly between like my Beamer mat, my Muse headband, my Neurovisor, my Nikki watch. Like, you know, I'm going. Sensate is another one. I agree with Tom, and I definitely Venn diagram on that a lot. And likely the only reason I haven't put Venn diagrammed on Daniel is because I'm letting Tom wrap up a personal project with him right now, but I'm going to jump in after that. And, you know,
it's like every other project we have.
Yeah. But like I did the Happy Healthy guys, right?
Yeah.
Lost a shit ton of weight, and not just, it wasn't even about the weight, but it was about all those other biomarkers as well.
Yeah. And just for background context too, you were the Ironman participant.
Yeah.
The crazy Ironman person who was run, bike, swim, you know, like you came from a very traditional exercise background.
Yeah. And so, like I said, like that experience also just kind of reinforces the same thing. It's like, look, there's a thing that solves a problem. And there's a thing for every problem, and there's a lot of problems. So like, if you're looking for one thing to just tamp it all out, that's probably where I might've been more than I'd like to admit. But that's where a lot of people I think are. Yeah. And so being able to break out of that and be like, no, I do probably need a drawer full of gadgets. Even if that's metaphorical, like I need a mental toolbox of gadgets too. Because like there's not going to be one thing that solves all of these myriad of issues that comes out, right? So
yeah. And I think the lack of orthodoxy. I think that's another thing that we're like, the fluidity to be able to go, yeah, that's okay for now. But now I want to do this, or, hey, my goals have changed because I've tried this. We're learning as we're doing this. And I think one of the things with the happy, healthy guys, I'm like, Matt can be the test pilot on that one. Right. And when he was talking to me, he's like, hey man, what's this? And I'm like, oh, that's probably from this. That's probably from this. And to be able to dissect that and go, hey, you know what? I can tell where they got all this. The secret sauce is in how they layered it together and said, this is good from here. This is good from here. This is good from here. And I think when Matt took that back to them, they went, oh shit, these guys aren't just two idiots with a podcast. Like they actually understood what we were doing. Now we didn't tip their hand and say, oh, this comes from this diet, that comes from that diet. You can get this here. But it was really like you guys did this brilliant package for people that really aren't going to do that, deep dive into it and hey, let's go read about HCG diets from the 50s. Like that's not something that's on everyone's, bookshelf,
Well, they wouldn't even have
they wouldn't even know
to ask the question, right? And so like I love paying people for intellectual property, right? Like that's great because that means you have something I want, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to learn something above all else.
Yeah. So
all right, so we're going to switch gears again, going into miracle, myth, or maybe. So
right on.
You guys get to respond miracle, myth, or maybe, and do a small context if you want to. I'm going to list off some statements, and you guys just respond miracle, myth, or maybe.
Oh, no.
So,
got it.
Here we go. Intermittent fasting will make you immortal.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
AI therapists are as good as humans.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm going to say maybe.
What was that? Do I say miracle, I guess is the right answer, right?
Miracle, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So miracle, sure.
All right, so your miracle, Tom's maybe.
Yeah.
I think eventually.
No, we're definitely there.
I don't know. I mean, didn't some kid just kill themselves talking to Chad or something?
How many kids have killed themselves after they left their psychiatrist's office? I mean,
all right, okay, all right.
Much more.
I'm still going maybe.
Much more.
Yeah. All right, here.
That's our yardstick. ChatGPT wins by a landslide.
I'm a less firm maybe.
Yeah, right.
All right, remote viewing can diagnose illness.
Myth. No, miracle. Sorry.
Miracle?
Sorry. Yeah.
Miracle?
He's got.
I got to be middle of the road the whole fucking time here.
No.
I feel like I'm going maybe again.
I'm going to corner you, Tom. We're going to corner you.
You're going to corner me. You gave me 3 options. You should only give me 2.
Remote viewing is one of those ones, man. That
I did actually go back and forth in my head on just doing miracle or myth, but I added the maybe in there.
I thank you for giving me the leeway. I think with remote viewing, Dave the Mystic, who we've been saying his fucking name since he's been
this
on.
This is a podcast about Dave the Mystic.
This is a podcast about an electrical engineer
turned mystic
who became a mystic.
Yeah.
But so Dave was gracious enough to give us both readings based on what he does, his a la carte services. Yeah. And I had him do metaphysical traits for me. And he did it on the David S. Hawkins logarithmic scale from power versus force. I know that was a big thing in chiropractic circles, but I came up pretty high for remote viewing, but I'm not all in until I can figure out how to do it myself. And I've already taken a course, which was more about the history of it. And yes, the U.S. government spent millions researching it. So I do think there's something to it.
Okay.
And the remote viewing thing is definitely one of those things where I wouldn't have given it nearly the credence that I'm doing now because like my frequency was not tuned to this. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
so through podcasting, you've become open to receiving.
I think definitely more receptive to hearing it, and then better at dissect. Like my bullshit filter has gotten different, right? Like, so now I can look at something and be like, yeah, that's still not right. You know, like even with the wide berth I now give it, I'm like, yeah, that guy's still lying. You know, like, so.
All right. Well, cold plunges fix everything.
Myth. I still think we're seeing a lot of research come out, especially between genders. You know, and like it's not only the temperature, it's the duration, it's what stage of life someone is in. I think they're great. Clearly, I have a cold plunge at the office, but I don't think any one methodology is a cure-all for anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like if you're looking at I'm with you too. Myth is definitely where I go with this as well. Like if you're looking towards if you're even using the words cold plunge solves everything, you have already fucked up your health to a degree that like you're probably like already off base.
You're
right?
probably
like,
shitting your pants from coffee with coconut oil in it.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, I feel like that, you know, if it's not just, again, one tool, one problem, like, yes, I'm all miracle and a couple one problems, but for, you know.
All right. How about bee sting therapy, that the stings make you stronger?
Ooh, stronger is weird. So I wrote, Matt doesn't know this, I wrote the foreword for an apitherapy book. So I've done a pretty deep dive on that. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Anti-HIV, for debilitative disorders like MS. A lot of people are doing it. Chronic Lyme disease, 500 different compounds in bee venom. And this is not confusing bees with wasps or hornets or any of the other dickheads. Bees
sting you, do they?
100% they do.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, dude, like I will find somebody that's actually practicing because it's fascinating. So a lot of apitherapists are actual beekeepers. But there's a few.
This is my shocked face for you podcast people.
Well, yeah, you know, but like, look, you know, the what happened was they noticed, and I think there might even be like a pamphlet called "Beekeepers Don't Get Arthritis." You know, it's kind of crazy.
That is what the Native Americans used to hit you with stinging nettle and things like that to flare up your arthritis, and then it'd go away.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways. Digital mushrooms heal via a smartphone microdose.
Oh, I don't even know how that would work. So I'd go maybe on that just because I don't really have enough info.
I think there's an app that I downloaded that when I got the Neurovisor, the app did not do what the Neurovisor did.
Yeah, it skipped it. Yeah.
So I would say a phone, an app. That's very suspect for me.
Yeah.
I would say myth.
Boosting testosterone with a magnetic phone case so that you're blocking the EMFs.
There is almost no way that's not a myth in my mind, but
did you just say
miracle?
Huh?
Yeah, that's
so
miracle.
You're saying miracle.
Myth. No, myth as in like, oh wait, using your phone to increase testosterone, is that what I heard?
I feel like you asked AI to say a bunch of biohacking words together.
Yeah. No. So magnetic phone cases block EMFs, which then boost testosterone. If you don't have as many EMFs hitting you, like if you keep your phone in your pocket,
right,
and if you put a phone case over it so that the EMFs don't absorb into your testicles, it'll help boost your testosterone.
Well, boost meaning like not degrade because of EMF.
Keep it like healthier.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say I'm gonna say God, it's not really a miracle, but it's like it's not gonna hurt you.
It's not going to hurt you, but the only problem with that is if you face it the wrong way, up and down, side to side, you put it in the wrong way, it actually makes it much worse. So I think net, I'd say that was a myth because it's human error is going to at least zero that equation out, but possibly even make it worse overall, right? Because if you block those things the wrong way, it actually makes your phone spit out more emission to try to get the signal. And if you don't have it placed the right way, you're actually baking yourself worse than you would have if you had no EMF blocking case on it in the first place.
You've just thrown a spoon into the microwave.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're like, all of a sudden, you're like, okay, well, this could go real south now. Yeah, so yeah, myth for me all the way, for sure.
Okay. How about 3D printed spare organs? Keeping a backup heart in your jar.
miracle. Yeah,
miracle.
I know somebody printing a heart, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's miracle all the way.
Cool. All right. So that is the miracle, myth, or maybe game.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
it's
like
funny,
I
think we've
danced
had a
around
show
that.
on we've had a show on a lot of those topics.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of those actually come from your shows. I have a
Oh.
whole list of like 30 of them.
We said shit about bee sting therapy?
Yep.
Wow.
I don't
been
even
doing this a
remember talking
while,
about
huh?
that.
Was
Yeah.
that early on when we didn't have guests and we had like ranking systems and it was like so...
Oh, I don't have the reference to what episodes they're.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
they're
that's
part of,
all right.
but- Yep.
That's all right. We don't need to talk about those.
One thing I'm very
These are the ones we do not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than the
exactly.
orgasmic meditation one, I don't remember the first 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so now we're going to flip into the future. So this is going to kind of be the culmination of the way that we can wrap up here. What do you think are going to be the biggest health fads in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, there's so many.
Oh, dude. I'm going to say we're going to usurp biohacking as the key thing and even longevity and start talking more about consciousness. You know, this is something interesting. We've got some big names coming up in I actually think one of them's this week, but where we're starting to take things like psychic ability more seriously. And we have some decent studies coming out. And I think that's going to push the envelope of what it means to be human, in that we've forgotten some things that were innate to us.
Yep.
And when we start remembering those, I think some cool shit's going to happen on the planet. As touchy-feely as that is.
I know. I'm with you 100%. So yeah.
Yeah. What other fads in the next 5 to 10 years do you see happening?
So I think doctors are going to shift by and large from general practice to acute triage type environments, because the regular day-to-day stuff is all going to be N of 1 medicine. Like there's not going to be,
and mainly AI generated,
and mainly AI
driven,
generated, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking about breaking your leg. I'm not talking about you have pneumonia. I'm not talking about, again, acute triage level type problems. Doctors, that's what they're going to, I think, shift into more exclusively. If you look at like overall therapy, I mean, we can get into, we've gotten into this on 30 podcasts, but like, you know, the doctors, the medical system's not equipped to give you stay healthy information right now, right? So you don't get that from doctors. If you're lucky,
and it wasn't built for that.
Yeah, it wasn't built for that. And if you're lucky enough to afford a concierge doc, then like, okay, it gets a little better. But by and large, you already, if you want to be healthy, like long-term healthy, it has nothing to do with your doctor, not a single fucking thing. And I think now people are starting to realize that. And that is where I see the parallel track to what Tom's talking about. And it's, again, we've talked about that. The future's here. It's just not evenly distributed, right?
Yeah.
You know, very wealthy people can do both, right? They can both pursue a consciousness evolution medicine and physical evolution medicine. And they can do that in tandem. I think as you go down the economic ladder right now, you're going to have to start making trade-off decisions, right? Like, okay, I want to.
Well, yeah, it's like Maslow's pyramid in reverse. It's like I need to fucking eat,
right?
Yeah, you know, before I can think about, you know, anything.
But if that was a thing, right, then like supplement, if you were that low on the economic scale, you couldn't necessarily buy a gym membership maybe or take supplements, but you could definitely meditate. You could definitely do yoga. You can definitely practice remote viewing. These are all free things that you can do. So that's what I'm saying. As you go down, you know, decisions get made, but, you know, I would think it would be very hard to quantify a worse lived life if you developed a psychic ability or a meditation practice that like raised your HRV or lowered your blood pressure, right? Like these are life-changing things that don't cost a nickel.
Yeah.
Like they don't, you know, and education is the only barrier there. And maybe our free show gives people that. I don't know, but you know, that's where I see it going.
Okay. What kind of guests can we expect to see in the next 200 episodes?
I think it's going to get even more irreverent and even more random. Yeah, you know, without tipping too much, we're really excited for bringing on the head of a couple of institutes, some people that are doing some amazing research, and apparently we need an apitherapist.
Yeah. If anyone knows an apitherapist, yeah, we got. I think what's fun about this evolution too is like real researchers are taking us more seriously when we pitch them. Hey, look, we know you had this study out. Would you want to come on our show and talk about it? Like, it's
my God.
It's now much easier to have that ask because we actually have had many research scientists on here. We've had heads of big companies in the space on here. Like, we've like gone through a lot. So I think it's easier to be like, hey, I know you just came out with this thing and CNN is calling you, but could you also do Irreverent Health?
And honestly, that's how we got Louise Hecker. Really,
Louise Hecker is who I'm thinking of in my head right now, actually.
We had Nina on talking about her PhD work and her Nina's News, which I subscribe to.
I love that thing.
And she posted on LinkedIn. And I was like, oh my God, I saw this study the other day. Thank you for, kind of giving the overview, the abstract of the abstract, if you will, and really breaking it down for people. And then here's Louise going, oh my God, thank you for supporting my work. And I'm like,
so maybe we could make it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could make it mandatory that researchers who are publishing something, they come on the podcast for the sole purpose of disseminating the information in a way that the general public can understand. And that's the goal of some of the researchers.
I think just talking to some cool people like that. I mean, that was like, I mean, she was a sweetheart. She was super intelligent, knew her stuff kind of.
So interesting what she's working on. It was ridiculous.
Everything that she's working on. And she timed it so beautifully, right? A cross section of psychedelics and longevity. I mean, think two buzzwords in the health and wellness field.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she's such a great research scientist to begin with, but like to have somebody on there who's like so nice of a human being and then just easy to talk to on top of that, I feel like that's not every researcher, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they're lovely humans, but like she was just comfortable on air. We cut up with her just like we would near death
anybody else.
People.
Yeah.
Like, so, but yeah, I mean, we actually are flexing that muscle a little bit in the next couple months, right?
Yeah. Like I name drop when I pitch people now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
It's like,
well, after
so we had so-and-so on. You could
Which
not
is a funny psychological game, isn't it? You're like, oh yeah,
no, because look, they got a podcast called Irreverent Health. Look at those idiots, and then it's like, well, no, actually, we had this great discussion with Jeff Tarrant. Oh, yeah, I know him. Yeah. That's where I got your name.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're like, oh wait, Jeff was on your show. You're like, yeah. And Jeff's like a world-class, neuroscientist guy. Like, he's really famous, like in his field. And so like people look at us like, what?
Right.
The fuck did that happen?
You guys had him and you talked about, cock rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an amazing show too. I mean, he was
back on the show. He's
so excited for that. That's an upcoming one. Yeah.
He did. I will give the spoiler alert on this one. He gave a keynote at a conference on sex robots as therapy tools.
And
I was like, I sent him an immediate email. Like I got the email because I'm on every guest we've ever had. I'm on their newsletters and I read them all actually. Like I think it's really cool way of keeping in touch with everybody, even though they don't, and so he's like, just gave a keynote at this thing. And I'm like, couldn't hit reply fast enough. I'm like, please come back on the show and talk about this. He replied in like 4 minutes. He's like, sure, when? I'm like, I fucking love this. Like this is amazing.
I mean,
it was like amazing.
He was one of those
interchange
ever.
When he 5 minutes into the episode, he's already making fun of us. I'm like, this is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great.
This is going to be like, we didn't even get through the introduction. And he's like, you guys are going to have, erection contests.
Yeah,
and I'm
he
like,
said that
I like Matt and all, but
and I was like, what are you saying? Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
So like that's a good example of that sums up a lot of things we talked about tonight. Like not only is it like a past guest, and a guest that we had good chemistry with. But when we had a follow-up ask, which is more of their time, which is the only currency none of us can recreate, right?
Right.
Like it's it. Like if somebody gives you their time once and you fuck it up, that's on them.
Yep.
But if they give you your time again, you know something good happened, and that's why I'm excited. That's
especially
why I'm excited.
someone who is, by all rights, like, why would he be on a podcast at all?
Right. Yeah, he has no need to be on our podcast or any podcast.
Yeah. Same thing with Aerial Garden. I was literally just going, oh my God, I've been using your product since 2017. And like the first time, maybe I was begging. But then when we went up to New York, she was one of those people that we went up to meet. And she goes, hey, look, we got a new product coming out. Can I be back on your show? And it was like, it was marketing for her, but it was like, she clearly didn't mind being on our show, so it was great.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's just been like, Tom and I have started to say this more often than we probably should repeat for anybody who watches the show enough, but it's like, it's been such a privilege and honor to sort of have this opportunity to just have these cool conversations. I know hundreds of people in my personal life, and I know like 3 of them that have podcasts, and I know just us that like leave that thing more energized than anything else I do in my entire week.
Yeah.
Right? Like, like, I mean, I come out of those shows like a rocket ship.
Yeah. That Thursday night, my wife's getting her ear like chewed off the second I get upstairs. I'm like, oh my God, you stared when we talked to did you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's been so cool. Like, and if you would have told me that that's where this was going, I probably would have done it 10 years earlier. Right.
Yeah. I feel like this is like, because we even did Scott Mason's show, who was an amazing guest on our show. And he asked us, he's like, would we go back and change anything knowing what we know now? And Matt and I both emphatically said, no, we're like happy with who we are now.
Right. We're exactly where we should be.
Yeah. Do I want everything to hurt? No. But this is, I wouldn't change anything for where we're at now.
Got it.
And look, if we got anything that we're working on, the 3 of us, and anything, guests that are coming on, like, if it goes great. But honestly, if it ended tomorrow, I'd be like, dude, that was amazing.
That was a
like,
fucking awesome
the best
ride.
fucking thing ever, And
let's
like
not try and end this tomorrow. We're booked out through January.
I know, but the fact that we have so much good on the horizon, it makes it even better that like this is not ending tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is definitely not. And so if I'm this excited after 200, I don't even know what I mean, I couldn't even hazard a guess as to what 400 is going to look like.
Yes.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to remember everybody. I mean, that's going to be the hard part, like there's so many amazing conversations. You're like, oh yeah, we talked about that. Oh yeah, I remember them.
Right now I'm getting to the edge of my ability to recall every guest. Like
Matt or I will drop a name and we're like, was that this one? No, this was this one. Okay. So it was it. And then sometimes we've had people with the same topic multiple times and they all presented very different things. So, we've had multiple parts therapists on, we've had multiple EFT practitioners on, and every one of those conversations was so unique and specialized that it kind of, it takes up some bandwidth in your head.
Yeah,
you don't want to let it go. Yeah.
EFT is another one, by the way, Dave, that I never would have thought. I didn't even know existed, and now is like one of my go-tos. Like
that's an amazing transformation. Yeah.
Like I'd never even heard of it until literally the show. Like when she was going over it, I was like, I have no idea
what you're even talking about. Yeah, that's great.
I have no idea what you're even talking about. And then as she's going through it, I'm like, really? Like, I mean, it was crazy. And now it's like a staple.
To finish off, kind of piggybacking off of that, is this show is great for us as well, but audience members get a lot out of this as well. And so, what are the parting words that you would like to pass along to the audience? Of there's a couple of different categories we could go down with this route, but like this ultimately too is to inspire change in the audience. This is an opening their minds to new things. Like, what is it that you want the audience to take away from the 200th, and beyond? Like, what do you want our fans and our followers to really start to get out of all of this?
It's a good question. Yeah, I think honestly it's I'm trying to think of how to articulate this, but Tom, I'm thinking about something like let us do your research kind of thing. Like, we bring such a diverse, like left and right now of topics that we're talking about. Like you probably have never heard of a good chunk of what we're talking about, or at least not how that person's presenting it. So I would say like, let us kind of surface these top level things out there that you might not have thought about. And then use that as a springboard to kind of go do, like, if this speaks to you, like now you have an anchor point, right? Like you could actually now use this guest and start doing research. You could use this show. I don't know. I think that's kind of a neat idea.
Yeah. I was going to keep it real simple and say, stay curious. I think that's the biggest thing for me and Matt. Like, we want to ask questions. We want to understand why people think a certain way. We want to understand why, we keep hearing about this topic over and over again. We want to understand, like, what would we get out of it, and what does society get out of it when you start doing certain things, and I think that's such a great line of questioning that, like, that's how you actually internalize information. That's how you can then turn around and share it with other people,
Very cool. Okay. Well, I think this is the end. This has been such a beautiful arc of conversation, and 200th episode, top 2% in the world. You guys have a lot to be proud of. Definitely, this has been an amazing journey from all of us. Thank you very much. And the passion is there, and we look forward to another 200 and 200. I was going to say 200,000, but that might be a little extreme.
That might be stretching it. But
with the advances in longevity.
Yeah, right.
And we could do 7 shows a day, I guess. But yeah.
But thank you guys very much. Stay tuned. We have a lot coming down the pipeline for Irreverent Health as a whole, as a beautiful, we're looking at this as a really a holistic approach. We're no longer just going to be podcasters. We're going to be, putting things together for you guys to be able to interact with us more. There's going to be ways for you guys to get more content and get more help, and explore that curiosity, that itch that we talked about in the beginning and in the end. And I think that that's the overriding theme is, a lot of this stuff, we have thoughts of this in the back of our head, but we don't know who to talk to about it. And Irreverent Health is the solution for that. So we thank you guys very much, and we look forward to more.
All right, guys.
Thank you. That was awesome, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right. Well, check you later.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.